right, Saida. Hello. Next question is from Saida, old friend of the Ask Dr. Ben show. Or I don't know. Yeah, why not? We like Saida. Anyway, hello, Dr. Ben. This is an excerpt from an article. Let's read. The entire Xinfadi market, which is the big seafood market in Beijing, where there's a cluster of cases now that everybody's been talking about, was shut down at 3 a.m. on Saturday after two men working at a meat research center. Meat research center. I imagine this as sitting down with a range of steaks and fine wines and just trying to see, try which one does really pair best. Yeah, with it. I would imagine there's more to it than that, but yeah, whatever. In my tiny mind, that'll do for now. That'll be a little placeholder. Yeah, so because these people from the Meat Research Center had recently visited the market and were reported to have the virus. It was not immediately clear how they had been infected. Yeah, because it's really hard to tell that in retrospect exactly how a person was infected. Occasionally you can, but yeah, like all the Memorial Day cases, you can pretty much tell. So the question is, how can I tell so fast that this is the same strain? Yeah, and not equally likely that it's a new strain of coronavirus. Are the tests that accurate? Yeah. The normal test that detects the virus, no, it's not that accurate. Antibody tests would not tell you a thing. Yeah, no, yeah. But what they did right after they got this is throw some money at it and sequence the entire genome of the virus. And that is what tells you where this virus came from. The Chinese have been doing a real good job of putting their money where their mouth is and doing a lot of really cutting edge science. I mean, say what you like about the politics, but yeah, Chinese science community. Whew, yeah, good job. Yeah, yeah, they've been on fire. Yeah. And so, how can you tell that this is coming from people rather than coming once again from the animal source? Well, this virus is mutating at a rate of about 30 mutations per year. And the earliest sequences we have, we think were isolated in late December. And so that's kind of where our clock starts. So let's just say January 1st is when our virus clock starts. So by this point, after what, like 7 months of virus, something like that, we have somewhere in the vicinity of 15 permanent mutations, like 15 to 18, that kind of range. And if you look at the average strain that's sequenced now, that's about how many differences you'll find from the original one. Thing is, these mutations didn't happen all at once, they happened one at a time for the most part. And so you had that early virus, and then there were a couple of mutations that cropped in, and these ended up being spread to different places. So there was one mutation that went to Belgium. That same mutation then went to New York. There was another one that went over to Seattle. There were others that went in Italy and did really well there. Yeah, great job, virus. Yeah. And then spread over to Germany, to the UK. There are different versions of this thing that have now spread down in Central America and South America, parts of Africa. And so, from the collection of all those mutations, yeah, you can tell pretty much exactly where the virus came from and more or less its history. At least, general. You can say, oh, it's related to this virus, which was last seen in Belgium, Honolulu, whatever. Take your pick. Somewhere nice, I hope. Yeah. And so that's how they can tell. And so if this was a virus that was just coming from an animal, there isn't any good rationale for why it would have to change those exact same mutations. Because there's 30,000 bases that it could change, and no, it's picked these exact 15 to 18, which happen to be the same as the ones in all of the human strains. So that's, in a nutshell, what's going on there. And yeah, they're saying it's a very European strain. So, ooh la la, very fancy European virus. It's probably, like I was saying, I think in another video, it's probably not the fish. It's probably the people that are bringing in the fish, or yeah, at some point along the chain, you got people talking to people, and the people are passing the virus, most likely. Yeah, why it's showing up in a fish market, we don't have a good explanation at the moment, but that seems to be what's going on. So yeah, your spidey sense tingled at the right moment. No, the normal test only reads out these two little tiny regions, and it doesn't actually give you the sequence from them. It just tells you, yeah, this part is here. I think each of those reads out something like 75 or 80 nucleotides. It's what it's based on. So no, not enough to make any kind of comparison or any kind of give you any kind of idea where it's from. Got to sequence that whole genome, or at least a big chunk of the genome, and they did it. So yeah, once again, good job. Yeah. Everybody's waiting, but so far there has not been another reintroduction from animals. What that would look like is a new virus coming in, which would not have all of the mutations that have built up in people, because these are probably either people-specific mutations or mutations that happened after the virus got into people and was separated from its animal host. These are things that wouldn't naturally happen inside of an animal. And so if we see a new virus that doesn't have those, or has a completely different set of mutations missing those and something else, then we could say that, yeah, this could be another transmission event. Hasn't happened yet, which is good news, because there's still a considerable amount of wild animal trade out there, I am absolutely sure. And so, yeah, even though we're doing dumb, risky things, we're getting away with it for the most part. We've only got one virus to knock down at a time. Thank goodness. Yeah. So there we go. This has been Ask Dr. Ben. That was a great question.